Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about Zenkaiger episode 8, and this one is obviously following straight on to where we are. But before we begin this review, if you want to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop, and let's talk about it. Now, this entire episode is, I want to say it's good as the last one. But one thing that I am very glad that they've put in is the fact that there is a limit on Stacy's power. So I love when villains absolutely trash the bad guys, like, you know, it's really cool. But when they have overpowered stuff that the good guys literally can't win, that's where I'm kind of like, oh, really? But with this one is we find out that Stacy's power has a limit. So obviously, if you're calling every single giant robot from the past 45 years or 43 years, then obviously there is going to be a massive power drain. But he's still overpowered for who he is. And still, it's really cool that we saw this kind of explanation for this one. So I'm kind of glad that they put it in there. Now, Stacy has called forth pretty much every single rowboat from every single timeline and stuff like that, and that to me is something different. But it does mean that at least you could at least call in 3 at a time, 4 at a time, and actually trash the Zenkaigers all the time, and that to me is a bit meh. I have to read this. Barashitamas, or I'm going to call him Barish because it's so much easier. So he's now come on the scene, and you think, oh my god, with all the Super Sentai fakes, as well as Stacy, and then obviously this monster, and Barashima, or Barish, you generally kind of think, oh my god, the Zenkaigers are going to get absolutely wiped out. But we also find a cheeky thing. So Stacy, we know in the previous, Stacy is Barish's son, and you know, you kind of think, oh, how did that happen? So apparently, dear God, I don't know why they put this in or why they said it. Stacy's mother was the 893rd wife, and we don't know if he's had kids with every single one, but it's just kind of really random that they put this in. Like, you could be like, oh, you're for my first or second, but it's just like, oh, okay, cool, just whatever. There's also, was there multiple wives on multiple Earths, or it's something that doesn't need to be explained. But dear God, it needs to be explained. The monster of the week is Doorworld, and I kind of like the fact that they're giving these names out. It's not like the generic name and then it's hard to pronounce. I just love the fact that it's so basic, like Doorworld, Mushroom World, and like these sorts of names really kind of make up for it. But his power is that he can, I think, randomize doors. So the Zenkaigers get knocked into like these doors and separated. But every single time they go through a door or a window, they kind of move along, and it's more like, oh, you're appearing in a different part. Like, it's not the same one. Like, it's a very good power. Like, all these powers that we've had over the course of time have been amazing. I absolutely love them. But it's just such a random thing, and I think now, rather than it being a serious Sentai, which I think a lot of people really want, I think for this one particularly, it's just literally a silly Sentai, and I don't really kind of mind it whatsoever because it feels like it's a wholesome anime. So we have multiple things, from police stations to bathhouses to offices. Now, I would laugh if these are pretty much all part of the Toei company. Like, you know, it's just random, like, hey, can we just use your office? So I think what would be really cool is if this was all through the Toei, like, building and stuff like that. So I generally kind of found this interesting, especially where it jumped from world to world, and it was just like they had to do stuff to get to where they were. And I love the fact that they go to other parts of the world now, and mainly we saw London, which was a bit weird, but I was like, okay, that's a bit okay. It was a bit weird. I don't know really kind of what to say on it. It felt nice where, like, kind of even I was like, hello type thing. it made me kind of smile like that. It would have been cool if they were able to kind of walk around a little bit, but obviously for time they had to obviously get to the place. Now I think the major big part of all of this is the last part of this entire whole series, where you have Kaito go against Stacy, and you find more about Stacy's past. And you know, he's angry at Kaito for kind of believing that his parents are alive, and not kind of believing that, you know, his dad, as in like Stacy's dad, was able to kill his wife and leave him dead in a ditch, apparently. So I like the fact that this is going to be a rival, but I also kind of think at some point Stacy's going to join them, even for a split second, even if it's for thing. I literally can picture it in my head right now, and I'm so excited if they go down the road. Now, my kind of thoughts on this one would be that Kaito shows his love for his parents, and is like really thinking after they get some really bad news and stuff, and Stacy, I think, will join them for like one episode, or at least one big fight where I think his Stacy's dad will kill him and be like, well, since you're against me now, there's no use for you, and then that is particularly it. So I kind of feel like this. I also think that Stacy is a better fighter than Kaito, because I think Kaito just wants to stand around going like, yeah, and woo, and watch his friends and not actually fight. I think that when you kind of see this, he's not giving it his all, because when we watched him with the sushi monster, he was going in there not caring. So I kind of think that, I don't know why Kaito is kind of pulling back. It just doesn't make sense to me, but I kind of feel that happen. So we get Five-Man, Flashman, and Bioman as the Rangers fighting, and it just kind of makes you think that this is what Stacy could do. Now, I'll give him props. From when you saw these older Sentai teams, you saw, or you heard the certain sound effects, which I'm guessing were from previous, where it's like, you know, a slash of a sword, a fire of a pistol. It had that really kind of Sentai feel, and not like kind of new ones, which I generally was going to think that's how they were going to go for it. So it kind of gave more to the point where I was watching it and generally really liking. So the main kind of thing for this is the fact that we meet Twokaiser. They finally appear after Stacy brings up two more mecha from Goseiger as well as Geki Ranger. Now, the only reason is because, and I was very shocked on this, is because Stacy kills and obliterates Door World, but then uses the gear to actually turn the giant other mech thing into the giant version. I didn't kind of expect it to some degree where Stacy would turn on his own teammates, but it now just kind of think that, you know, is he that sort of person where if a monster comes up, he's going to destroy them? These are the two things I kind of thought on. So because obviously the others have destroyed Door World and stuff like that, we see now that the two other megazords there, and you think it's going to be a bit more of a fight, but they just stand there, but then they get absolutely annihilated by Twokaiser. Twokaiser's name is Zox Gold Tweaker, and for some strange reason, just then, it made me feel like it's an Austin Powers type name or something like that. I don't know why, but as Zox comes in, he doesn't do the whole thing where we've seen previous, where it's like, you know, they stand there and then give the kind of introduction. He sings and dances, and I kind of liked it. Now, the dance for his morph is a little bit different, and, you know, I can see it getting a bit tiresome after a while, where they'll probably drop it after maybe like 10 episodes or something like that, so that we get a proper kind of quick morph thing if he decides to join the team. Now, apparently some people are kind of annoyed because obviously this wasn't the thing, because my kind of reaction to this is I love Zenkaiger. I absolutely adore it so much. And this didn't really bother me because I kind of expected, like, there are multiple different pirates where the others with the Zenkaiger's, they were very kind of stern type thing. They didn't have the thing. The only kind of weirdness they had was Doc rubbing his legs for some strange, bizarre reason. But there are different types of pirates, and I think it's the way that we've had pirates now. This is what I kind of thought. And I was like, okay, this is fine. So it didn't really bother me. The one thing that would have bothered me is because obviously he's from the Zenkaiger type thing, is his morpher. If it didn't have the sound of what it was back in the day of like the Zenkaiger, like the guy goes like Zenkaiger type thing, I generally would have been a bit, oh, that was a bit of a wasted opportunity. But it's the same voice actor that did the Mobirates and all the keys that is in this one. Now, obviously with the gears, that, you know, you don't really have to reuse it. You've got the sounds already. So I really liked it. I love the fact that he came in and he was a decent fighter. Not like the generic like holding back, but he went to toe to toe, and it kind of reminded me a bit of Marvelous, just in there fighting. And that to me was something a lot different because I liked it. I loved the fact that he went in there and he was literally matching Stacy move for move, and that to me was brilliant. I loved the fighting and it made me want to know more about him. The fact also that he's looking for treasure and knows what it is. He picks up the Stacy's gears, looks at it and goes, oh, this is fake, you know, this is not what I'm looking for, and destroys it. And that's one fair swoop where he throws it up, pulls his gun out, shoots it, and then literally waylays to the others. The only thing that I found was the fact that when the gears land on the floor, they're still there, so obviously they didn't destroy them. But I think I would have had some guy like above just drop them. I think that would have been a lot cooler. But the fact that he just comes in and he's got one of the showiest ones, and the fact that they still used, like, let's make this showy to some degree, felt like they really looked at Zenkaiger and gone, right, we're going to use some elements. So I really can't wait to see what we get later on. In all of this, in the second preview, we see a bit more, which I generally really like. We see that he's got a sister as well, who just like drops in. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the dynamic is, and I think generally it's really cool. Now, I was watching a friend's video. I was watching Ash's video, and he said that apparently there is some rumors that she may become a ranger, and what color. Now, they could do silver. Now, I did kind of think, but my kind of thoughts on that one is the fact that they've already got Gokai silver. So if they added another silver team, I don't think it would work. I think that she'd probably be purple. Normally you look at the kind of outfits and see what it is. Now her predominant one is black and pink, so obviously they can't do pink. So I think they probably would do purple, or maybe another color that would go with gold rather than silver, because then I think you're taking away Guy, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, if they literally had a black Gokai Ranger, I think that would be kind of cool that we'd see. But yeah, I might make a video on that one and kind of give it my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. This episode to me was fun. It was a good series. It didn't have the hype or the excitement from the last one, but it had enough to keep me interested and knowing what the Gold Ranger is going to be. So I generally really like this one. I think this episode is good. The series is really good. You're up to episode 8. You've already introduced your new Ranger. You've already introduced the main villain. And I feel like if we're getting the full 40 odd or 35 or whatever episodes, I think that we're going to do well. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's my main kind of like thing for this one. So I am very much excited for this. I feel like the series is going in a good way, and I want to buy all the toys. Not gonna lie, really want to buy them. But yeah, I am gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think about this episode down in the comments. Did you like Twokaiser? Did you not? Did you like this episode? Let me know what your thoughts are and what are your thoughts on Zenkaiger so far. Let me know down below in the comments, and if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。